There is a place within yourself that you can rest. And from within this place, a lot more makes sense. It starts through the heart. You experience it within yourself in a way that you can trust. And as you rest here, breathe and listen. Because today, there is a window into a truth you need. You need to know this. You need to remember this. And with this, I give you Thoth. Before you were here, you did not know what it would be like. Seems simple. And yet, I invite you to remember what it was like to surrender into this. From this vantage, the why is easy. You needed to change yourself in a way that no one else knew how to support you in. That's why you came here. The universe, the one verse, is a oneness that embraces you with a memory that extends before and beyond and around and within. Everything you know is yourself. And as you allow yourself to embrace this, you realize that you are always embraced by this. You have a relationship with this oneness that can get stuck. It's difficult to remember, and I ask you to try. Knowing that you chose this is crucial, and it is often difficult to appreciate why you would choose an existence that has so much pain. The word separation is misunderstood. It invokes a sense of this or that. I was there and now I am here, and there is no connection between. I would like you to treat it differently. Imagine you take a beam of light and you separate it into different hues, like a prism refracting a rainbow. Once you've done this, imagine you can mix and match the hues. You can block some and focus on others. This is the state of separation in which you exist. And this state of separation is in many ways unpleasant, because it involves an intrinsic awareness that you are incomplete. You are lacking some aspects of what you know to be you. Why would you do this? I urge you to consider that the value in focusing on some of the hues more than others enables you to gain perspective and leverage over the way in which you were stuck within oneness. You become frozen in a certain deep way, a spiritual form of freezing that must be changed. To change it, you must break it into its constituent parts, accentuate some and de-emphasize others, and then recreate the body of who you are in a new way. This is enough to appreciate how and why you agreed to separate from your existence within conscious awareness of the universe. The reason you are able to begin to remember this truth is because you have come close to completing the core work you set out to do. Imagine you are coming close to the end of a very long journey. Consider the feelings you may hold within your heart. Consider the way in which you may relieve your tired and your exhausted state of being. Allow this to continue within yourself as you extend your awareness of the journey. You can see the end now. I am talking to you from the completion of this journey. And the completion is simple. We can sit together, you and I, and recreate the full spectrum of light. You have done the work to enable you to put this light back together. To appreciate how you have done this is to recognize how it has worked. Different hues were emphasized in different places on planet Earth. These places correlated with cultures. These cultures took on different forms, styles, rhythms, and emphasis. As a result, there was a way to weave your consciousness more specifically with one hue than with others. As we have addressed, this began with a partial rejection of aspects of yourself. To be more present with green than red and blue is to know yourself is incomplete. And yet, to be this incompleteness is also its inverse. You learned to accentuate, to focus, and to bring your full presence into a more specific hue of existence. This is not only a gift in and of itself, but it is the gift of the skill and the ability to change your hue. You had to leave an intrinsic awareness of yourself as part of the universe. You had to reject the truth of your wholeness and your oneness. And as one, you know why you did this. You did this so you could return to the dance with the capacity to dive like yellow and climb like red and shake like violet and dance like orange. You claimed the right to emphasize different hues within the sacred dance on these frequencies. As above, so below. You chose to recreate the patterns of your existence within the dense presence of the earth. You essentially colonized new frequencies of light on the material plane. These were not frequencies you used to inhabit, but you did used to experience existence as a whole, unified spectrum. So to choose to both shift frequencies into the earthly material plane and to accept isolation within specific frequencies was a surrender on a level that is daunting. To accept this is to remember this. To remember this is to be the being that chose to dive into your incarnation. To be this being is to recognize the different cultures on planet Earth for what they are. We created many different hues, human cultures, that embodied these specific frequencies. Not only did they emphasize red or orange or blue, but they created a key of experience in relation to the other colors. You have never been fully out of relationship to the other frequencies, and thus you have never been fully out of touch with your wholeness, with your oneness. But you have learned the incredible and destructive power of rejecting some frequencies, even while you lived right next to them. When you learn to say no to some aspects of being human and yes to others, you are learning to change the power balance within yourself. The ultimate intention was to return into oneness with the ability to change these forces from a vantage where you used to be frozen. You were essentially agreeing to entirely leave your known experience, to be present and fully conscious in a completely different range of light, that you would be able to return to your old way with new abilities. And the stories you've lived through as you've learned are very present. We wrote them for you. To appreciate the depth of the interconnected nature of the hues of humanity is to recognize that not only were different races of humans created around these frequencies, but these races contained cultural focus, emphasis, and design that we gave you. We guided you with sages who remained present within each culture for thousands of years. They appeared in physical form at first and gradually changed their relationship to connect most commonly through your mind and your heart. Because the heart is the return of this. The heart, as a place to rest, is a place to remember that you actually are all of these colors. To know yourself as the complete rainbow is to dissolve your relationship with the historical traditions that reject certain aspects of the rainbow while embracing others. To make this choice is to transcend the stories that many around you continue to live. To do this can be lonely and challenging in a way that is necessary. We are not testing you to torture you. We are teaching you to own the truth despite every resistance around you. And as you do, you are learning to deprioritize the validity and the dominance of the physical plane. To say no to material influence is to connect with that part of yourself which transcends material presence. You are learning to think as you did in spiritual form. You are reclaiming your ability to know yourself more as the connection between your spirit on earth and your soul with the sun than as the body. The physical body must be transcended in order to return to it with your full presence. To return to the body, having known how to release the body, is a walk through death. To know this death is to know yourself as the one who died to a specific and stunted experience, knowing that violet is better than blue and red, knowing that orange must beat yellow or green. To die to these ways of being is to embrace a new life. And the new life itself is the presence that ends the old way. If you fear this, you will fight this, and you will suffer for much greater lengths of time. As you embrace this, you will know this, and your consciousness will embody the spiritual presence of oneness within this lifetime.